So the question is, you're still voting for this man who have your border wide open in a time of war. But even if it wasn't a time of war, why would he have put your border and the crisis of all those people coming into this country that we don't know from a can of paint? They don't know us from a can of paint. They're going to bring all their ways and habits over here, set up real good, and drive our country down shitty lane. We must start to look at this thing from a brighter perspective, because it doesn't seem like people are really looking at what has happened and what Joe Biden has done to the United States. He has made us vulnerable to all enemies. In other words, let's put it this way: if you had a kingdom, right? Let me see if I can show you. More people understand. They understand what I'm saying, but I just want to be able to bring a light to that characteristic or open-mindedness based on it. But let's say you had a kingdom, and let's see, let's see, I don't know what this is, but we can scratch this. You know what I'm saying? But let's say you had a kingdom, and this was your kingdom. I'm gonna show you what Biden. Now, this is your kingdom right here. This square. This is your kingdom right here. All in here. This is all yours. Now you have a southern border. You know what I'm saying? You have S. You have a southern border. You have a northern border, I would say, and you have a east and west. Let's proceed. East and west on your borderline. You know what I'm saying? Now, you have the east and west. You have the southern, the north, the east, and the west, and so on. Now, at the same time, you have this border opening, which comes down from Canada and all types of places you know else lead to. You have the southern border, which leads to, say Africa, the West Indies, all the different, all the way to Africa. They could all come through that border right through here. So if you have them coming from Africa somehow all the way to the southern border, they could come right in. Same thing Creep Joe Biden has done. But even if it wasn't time of this type of shit going on, why would you have this border wide open? So now all the people in here, which are United States citizens, and many others who have been here a long time and even gotten citizenship and become strong in the game or whatever, and been working for years, are now going to be vulnerable from all they have run from the southern border in Mexico and other countries for years. All that type of criminal activity and criminal people are going to slip in here, and before you know it, once they establish ground and different schemes and games and this and that, many of these people are going to be oppressed, enslaved, and the same thing going to happen to U.S. citizens. So while Joe Biden left open all our borders, the southern, the north, the east, the west, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you now have a open door to every single body that's flooding in the country with no protection for the American people based on what could happen from this type of fluctuation. And you know full well there is going to be. There is no way you're going to tell me that it's not, even if it's amongst their own self. You know what I'm saying? Because people seem to have this type of mind frame in itself. You know what I'm saying? They have to have this type of mind frame in itself. So we have to start looking at that. We see how Miles say it's it's is what it though it oh it said it thought Israel would manage to stop its attack sooner, you know what I'm saying, and couldn't believe how successful it was. Well, yeah, especially if you're doing a sneak attack, you know what I'm saying? But we don't need to be hearing about this. We don't need no sneak attacks. What we need is an agreement amongst you two to cut that shit out and come to some kind of agreement rather than bombs, guns, and killing of innocent people. This is much of what we need to understand, because whenever you guys spark up these type of shit, you know what I'm saying, innocent people are caught in the crossfire. You didn't even have the decency to move them out of the crossfire, you know what I'm saying? And then you have the other ones talking about some jihad who doing massive terrorist or whatever you want to call it attacks. you know what I'm saying, to bring about whatever they're trying to achieve. But that does not leave, you know what I'm saying, many of this in itself in the perspective of the protection of the people. And this has been what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? It's different if you're always doing it amongst yourself, these so-called leaders, but you're not. When y'all do this stuff, the people are caught in the crossfire, and that's the problem. So we have to start to protect the lives and the rights of humans on planet Earth outside of their bullshit and the garbage that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, we look at now another thing where we have, Trump dips into internet conspiracy theories with his latest line about Obama. You know what I'm saying? Nobody give a flying crap about Obama, though. You know what I'm saying? But we see here where Republican group blasts mega for threatening national security. You know what I'm saying? We see Tuvaville reports ex-CIA chief Michael Hayden, you know what I'm saying, to Capitol cops over assassination threats. You know what I'm saying? We see the CIA Michael Hayden to Capitol cops over assassination threats by Ryan King one day ago, coming off the New York Post. We see where Senator Tooverville on Tuesday, you know what I'm saying, he had flagged former CIA Director Michael Hayden social media, suggesting about removing Tooverville from the human race, Tooverville from the human race to Capitol Police. Tooverville from the human race to Capitol Police, accusing the former chief spook of calling for a politically motivated assassination. I expect that the Capitol Police will once again do an excellent job protecting the members of Congress and bringing criminals to justice. Tuberville Republican, I guess of Alabama, I guess, said in a blistering statement. In more ways than one, he said in a blistering statement. You know what I'm saying? I expect them once again to do the job. But Hayden was responding Monday night, you know what I'm saying, to a post on X, formerly Twitter, you know what I'm saying, venting frustration with with Tuberville, ongoing Senate hold on bulk votes for military promotions, which has held up the the confirmation of at least 300 nominees put forward by President creepy ass nutcase Biden and Bush crooked criminal ass. You know what I'm saying? Two nutcase in a pie. You know what I'm saying? When we look at it, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We see Omar comes in the heat for her remarks and so on and so on. We see Creep Joe Biden overturns Trump policies to give Palestinians, 300. Yeah, I admit, of course, you ain't going to back the Palestinians. You're going to keep the Palestinians as weak and in poverty as they can, such as they do when they do to the black community, even here in the United States for many, many years. You know what I'm saying? The same strategy. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna turn back the policy to give Palestinians 235 million in aid. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, everybody gets it all, but we, have a choice to whatever. Soon after the Islamic militant group Hamas launched its attack against Israel, a number of, you know what I'm saying, Israel is in Egypt, in Africa, you know what I'm saying, which don't seem right somehow when you say it. It's as if you're trying to make it in the minds of the people that it's a commonplace. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's an occupation. But we see here a number of right-wing figures suggest that the fund approved by the Joe Biden administration may have played a role in the deadly violence. Oh, yes, it probably did. The White House, National Security Council, the NSC, has already dismissed suggestions that the $6 billion in frozen Iran money, freezing the people's money, even though it might end up in the hands of the cook, but it's still what about the people? What about the regular people? Iran's money, which had been freed up in exchange for the release of 5 American detainees, was used by Iran, which supports Hamas, to help plot the attack, which was used to help plot the attack that broke out on Saturday. Republican Tennessee Senator Marsh Blackburn, Marshall Blackburn, suggested that the 2021 decision to provide 235 million in aid, listen to the number, to the Palestinians, the Palestine, Palestinians, may have also helped fund Hamas, a group that is designated as a terrorist organization by the United States, who disagrees with the United States and the European Union for forcing your will and dictatorship on the whole wide world, probably. Peace. While you shell their pockets with billions of dollars, our pockets stay over here and starve with high prices and everything else. You know what I'm saying? We see here couple documented strange phenomenal activity at their home. Well, let's see what's going on. That's good. But we see the Biden White House goes directly after Trump. The Biden creepy White House goes directly after Trump over the unhinged and sickening praise for terrorist groups. Well, let's find out what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? We see here where Tommy Christopher 6 hours ago, you know what I'm saying, 6 hours ago, Eastern Standard Time. You know what I'm saying, over this situation. But we see the creep Joe Biden, wannabe president, cheating ass, you know what I'm saying, into presidency. House took direct aim at the president of the United States, the original president of the United States, for unhinged and sickening remarks in which he referred to Hezbollah as smart in his speech. On Wednesday, on Wednesday night, Trump spoke to about 4,000 members of a group called Club 47 USA in the Palm Beach County Convention Center in West Palm Beach, Florida, in a speech that was full of viral moments. Among those was the Chuck, was a chunk of the speech that drew fire directly from a senior creepy ass Biden aide in which Trump rant about the new violence that has erupted since Hamas launched its unprecedented coordinated terrorist attack, assault, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing that Israel did to them. You did that back in the old days when you invaded the spot. You even created a machine gun called the Galil. You think we don't know about the Galil and how you created and got weapons from everywhere else to invade that spot? How many people of their people did you kill back then? You know what I'm saying? Because they did not want you there, and you should not have been there. You know what I'm saying? So Trump said what he said. That's Trump's problem. But at the same time, nobody have time to sit here condemning anything about anyone. What we need is a peace agreement and a agreement for you to cut out the nonsense altogether. You know what I'm saying? We see U.S. must be ready for uh, simultaneous war with China, Russia, reports say. Oh, of course, because this is what Creep Joe Biden and them has trumped up. This is what they have put on your table. You voted for it, and now you got it. You know what I'm saying? You voted for it, now you got it. Toyota, Apple Pie, Chevrolet, whatever you want to call it. But this is what you voted for. You know what I'm saying? And you're still thinking that it can't happen to you. You know what I'm saying? While you joking around in the streets, had the privilege of tearing up all the towns and people's stores and all the bullshit that went on. You had all the glory for time and everything. Now it's time to pay the piper. The same piper in which you voted or said that you believe he won the election, creepy nutcase ass, and the demon Democrats and all the affiliates going back many years, and those in the deep state and other secret societies, this bullshit, this very shit, you know what I'm saying, all the way to Hollywood, Disneyland, and all them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, you voted for them. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to pay the piper because he don't care about dying, do he? Anytime he can play with a nuclear war or war in general that a lot of American people have never seen. You know what I'm saying? And they will not be able to withstand or survive. Because even if we were invaded and so on, and we'd be stupid to let that happen. You know what I'm saying? Invader, you come get me and arm me up with the right weaponry and everything I need, and I'll show you how you keep them motherfuckers out of our country for real. You know what I'm saying? I will show you real African tactics in its fullness that you wouldn't believe. Given my disclaimer, I'm not into killing, I'm not into that, but if I have to defend the United States, then I will do so by all means with those and those patriots and those who stand for the protection of the United States under under all gods in that invisible for which it stands. You come get me, and I'll show you how we gonna do this, and we gonna do it very well. You know what I'm saying? There cannot be no slipping and sliding. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, and what's gonna happen. But at the same time, we cannot let anybody invade and disrupt our lives as we know it, because your grandmother, your mother, and all of that gonna be probably put in slavery, abused, rape, and everything else under the sun. You need to wake up, American people, and stop voting for garbage. You need to put Donald J. Trump back in that seat so we can fan this shit out in all ways. Or you will be looking at a war with China, Russia, and all types of other nations that back them up, and they all probably have nuclear weapons, complementary of probably the deep state crooked motherfuckers in the United States. You know what I'm saying? But we see Suffolk County Executive Hopeful Romaine and Cologne, spar on in debate. Okay, well that's good. If he's a Republican, are we talking two Republicans or what are we talking about? But we see here where because we see a lot of shit that go on here in Long Island that don't help the people to me much. You know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting for my Section 8 and don't know how the hell that they're ever going to get in touch with me in any shape or form. But right now, black people should be getting Section 8 all around the board. I'm beginning to see it, and I hope they keep that up. If you want to pay in reparations, it doesn't always have to be instant cash. What we're talking about could be start just with real estate in itself. You know what I'm saying? But we see veteran SI attorney Representative Rudy Giuliani in the creep Joe Biden suit hopes to dispose president. Yeah, you need to dispose that clown. We see the Supreme Court declines to revisit landmark First Amendment rules. Clarence Thomas calls for a decision to be reconsidered. You know what I'm saying? Reconsidered. The First Amendment, it could be reconsidered. We've seen a lot of changes going on, but we see here where you know what I'm saying, we see where Clarence Thomas wants to reconsider this case. You know what I'm saying? On Tuesday, the Supreme Court, declines to what I'm saying, to revisit unanimous landmark First Amendment rules in New York Times versus Sullivan. The proceeding, what I'm saying, sets by a decade-old decision has been pillared for media-related court case. It deems that the public figures needs to show actual malice before they can claim a live in a civil suit. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I mean? So this is point blank saying, we have a lot more to catch up on, but right now we're gonna take it easy and breezy and we're gonna make sure that, you know what I'm saying, but we see Trump's lawyers hand victory to judge, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one. We see in New York voters will decide two statewide ballot measures in November regarding constitutional debate and limitations. All right, so this is point blank saying, you know what I'm saying, um, we're going to come back with another one on this one. But we even see a judge refuse to claim that 80% of Trump's civil fraud case was dismissed, you know what I'm saying, in a fact check. You know what I'm saying? To me, they need to dismiss the whole goddamn piece of shit. So this is point blank saying, stay right, stay tight. We're going to stay in the fight and we're going to be right back because we got a lot more to discuss tonight. So, remember, we must bring peace upon the earth, because no man precedes his mother. And if your mother is breeding something out that would produce this type of stuff, she should be ashamed of herself. Because somehow, some way, you have not flocked the seed in the rightful way. You know what I'm saying? As we say, rah, you know what I'm saying? One, we will meet again.